In this video tutorial, we're going to talk about setting your title area image. So when we talk about the title area, we refer to this section here underneath the header. It contains your page title. With the bridge theme, you can achieve numerous different looks for your title area. In some cases, you might want to upload a background image. And if you're using a background image for your title area, there are several different ways that it can behave. So let's see some examples. On this particular demo, the title image is parallax. So when I start scrolling down, we can see this parallax effect. On this page here, we have a zoom out parallax. So when I scroll down, not only is the image parallax, but it also zooms out. And over here, we have a responsive image. When I scroll down, not much happens with the image. It scrolls down along with the rest of the page. But when I resize my browser, we can see that the image scales down. So we can see here the responsive behavior of the image. It scales down along with the viewport, and it expands as I'm expanding the viewport. All right, now let's go ahead and see how can we set these different image behaviors. So this is the site that I will be working on. Let's view the About Us page. Here we have a fairly simple page. I have not done much with the title area. So if you install and activate the bridge theme and you do not import a demo site, then this is what the default title area will look like. It will be 100 pixels tall and the page title will be flush to the left. So let's go ahead and upload a background image for the title area. I'm going to navigate to Code Options Title. And over here where it says background image, I'm going to go ahead and upload an image. Let's refresh the page. All right, so we now see a background image. Let's go ahead and make this image taller. So here in the title height field, I'm going to enter 600 and let's save. Let's refresh the page. So this is looking better. Now, this title text here is not very visible. So I'm going to make the title centered. I'm going to make it larger and let's make it white. Here for title text alignment, I'm going to choose center. Text size, I'm going to set large. Here where it says show title separator, I'm going to set no. And let's save. In order to make my title text white, I'm going to navigate to fonts. Down here, I'm going to click on page title. And here for text color, I'm going to choose white. And let's save. Let's refresh my page. So this is now looking better. The title text is more visible. So when I scroll down my page, we can see that my image is not parallax. I'm going to resize my browser and we can see that the image is not responsive either. So this is just a regular image. It's not responsive and it's not parallax. Let's go back to the title options. Let's talk a bit about the title image size. So let's say that I want to have a very large title area. I'm going to type 800 here and let's save. Let's refresh. Now we can see this gray area underneath the title image. So this is actually the title area and our image is not fully covering it. And this is happening simply because the image is not large enough. So when you're editing your title image, this is something to keep in mind. If you're seeing some blank space underneath the image or on the sides of the image, then that means that the image is too small. On our demo sites, we typically use a title image that is 1920 pixels wide, and this is so that it can cover full definition displays. So in my case here, I could fix this problem with the gray area by simply uploading an image with a larger height. Now let's go ahead and set a responsive title area image. So here where it says background responsive image, I'm going to set yes. And we can see now that I no longer have the option of setting a title image height. Let's go ahead and save. And let's refresh. So when I resize my browser, we can now see that the title image is behaving responsively. The image will always cover the width of the viewport, so it will either scale down or expand in order to cover the width of the viewport. And as for the height of the title area, that will depend on your image aspect ratio. So it will simply follow the natural height of the image. And that's why I do not have the option of setting a title area height when my image is responsive. All right, now let's go ahead and set a parallax image. So for background responsive image, I'm going to set no, and parallax title image, I'm going to set yes. Let's go ahead and save. Let's refresh the page. And now as I scroll down, we can see this beautiful parallax effect. So once again, just like when you're using a title image that's not responsive, you should be careful to make sure that your title image is large enough to cover the size of your title area. So if you want to have a very large title height, you should just make sure that your image is large enough to cover the entire area in order to not have those blank spaces around your image. Now let's look at the parallax zoom out effect. So here under parallax title image, I'm going to set yes with zoom out, and let's save. When I scroll down, the image is zooming out, but I'm seeing this blank space next to my image. And this is happening because my image is not large enough. So if we're using this parallax zoom out image effect, your image needs to be wider than the viewport. On our demo site, we use an image that is 2500 pixels wide. So let's go ahead and upload a larger image. So this image here is 2500 pixels wide. Let's save. And let's refresh. And the zoom out effect is now looking much better. Now, some people refer to the title area image as the header image, and that might be because in some cases, the title area image is actually visible underneath the header as well. And this can be seen here on our demo site. So the title area image is also visible underneath the header. So if you want your title area image to be seen under the header, you need to set a transparent header. So let's navigate to Code Options Header. Here under Header Transparency, I'm going to enter 0. And let's save. Let's refresh my page. And now that my header is transparent, my title image is visible underneath the header. But now my menu text is not very visible and neither is the logo. So let's go ahead and fix that. Here where it says header skin, I'm going to set light and let's save. Let's refresh. Now I have a white logo and my menu is white, so this is looking better. If you would like to learn more about header options, please check out our video on how to set up your header. Now let's talk a bit about the mobile header. On smaller devices and on screens that are 1000 pixels wide or less, the mobile header will appear. And when the mobile header is visible, the title area image behaves differently than it does on larger screens. The image will always be responsive. So even if you set a parallax title image for your desktop display, On mobile devices, your image will still be responsive. And the reason for that is because not all devices fully support the parallax effect. On some devices, parallax images behave unexpectedly. So for those reasons, if you're using a parallax title image on mobile devices, your image will convert to a responsive image. And as for the height of the title area, it will depend on the image aspect ratio. So if you check your mobile site and you notice that your title image appears to be very small, this is probably happening because the image is very wide in proportion to its height. So if you would like to have a taller title area on mobiles, then you should simply upload an image that has a greater height in proportion to its width, and that should fix that problem. Finally, let's talk about some additional title options. So throughout this tutorial, we talked about the settings in Qode options. And the settings that you apply here, they will affect all pages across your site. These are global options. When you're setting up your title area, you will probably want to upload a different title image on different pages. You might want to set a different color for the title text across different pages. So if you want to set a title setting that will affect that particular page, you can do so on the page settings. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my About Us page in the backend. When I scroll down, we can see here that there's a section called Qode Title. And these settings are local settings. They will apply only to my About Us page. So for example, I can upload a different background image, or I can choose a different title text style. If you would like to learn more about how global and local page settings work, please check out our video on that topic. So that brings this video to a wrap. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you have any questions about setting up your title area, feel free to let us know in the comments.